So initially when you bring up the app, it's going to show you on the video page here. So the video page is going to give you the 8 preset scenes available to go through and edit here. On the right here, you're going to see the same transition options. So you have the T bar to make the transition, the auto button, and the cut. We also have the quick switch mode. So for the quick switch mode, what that will let you do is instead of using the transition bars or the transition buttons here, all you would have to do is press the button of the scene and it would make that transition for you. So you don't have to worry about pressing 2 buttons to make the transition. You can just press 1 button and it will do it automatically for you. Okay. And then over here is our audio channels. So again, lets you look at all the audio controls depending on which ones you want to have live. You could turn them on and off here. For the video channels, you have the option of audio follows video. So what that feature will let you do is if you have that on, the audio for that specific channel will only turn on if you're on a scene that has that video content available. So if you're in a scene that doesn't have that content, you won't hear anything. Okay? And then the last page here is going to be the settings page. I'll go into a little bit more deep into exactly what's going on here once we get into the streaming keys section. Okay. Okay, so let's go back over to the video area. So another thing I forgot to mention here is going to be our program area. So this is what's currently live. So what you guys are seeing at the moment. And then our queued area. So this is the scene that's queued up and ready to go. So if I hit the transition bar right now, it would switch over to this one. Now, if you don't have a display available to preview your screen and you want to use the iPad, you could do that as well. So if you click on this button right here, it will do a full screen and it will actually show you the full screen preview. So let's get out of that so it makes it a little bit easier to see. All right, so next up, let's go ahead and get into the scene editing. So let's go ahead and edit scene 7 here. Alrighty, so within the scene editor, you have a lot of different options that you could pick from. So on the right over here, you could name the specific scene anything you want. So if you wanted to give it a specific name so you know what that scene is, you could do that. For the background, you have the capability of either selecting color, which is just going to be a solid color, or you could pick picture and then upload your own picture to it. So right now we have our own picture, so I'll leave that there. Now for the video, for the media section here, you have 3 different choices. So you could either choose just HDMI 1, which is what we're looking at right now. You could pick HDMI 2, which would be the second video, or you could pick dual view. Now, for HDMI 2, it doesn't let you pick the option whether you want the input A or input B. So remember, you have 2 video options for HDMI 2. And then once we get into dual view, there's 2 different layouts. You have picture by picture, which is what we're looking at right now. So it just puts it side by side. Or we have what is most commonly used, which is picture in picture. Okay, so let's go ahead and pick picture in picture, and then let's go ahead and make some scene edits here. So for the first video content is our app back here. So you notice I'm getting the black background on it. So that's actually the video that's giving me that. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and crop that so I only see the app. So I'm going to hit the crop button up here. Once it turns red, it's going to give you the full preview of what you're looking at over here. So you just drag the corners to exactly where you want it to crop. And then you'll notice that it's starting to, the square is starting to become smaller on the edge over here as well. So that way you could just go up. And then we could go ahead and crop that. And then once we're done, you hit done. And now I can resize just that crop. Okay, so you see it there. And then I want to do the same thing for the second camera. So I don't want to get all this extra stuff over here. I want to just get what's on the banner. So let's go ahead and drag this over right there. Drag it over from the right a little bit as well. Perfect. So now we can adjust the size of it. So let's make this a little bit bigger. Okay, and then we could put it within the same area. So let's put that here. Make this a little bit bigger. Okay, so now we have our video content ready to go. So next would be adding any kind of overlays that you have. So you have two options. You could either add text, which would be done through just simple text typed out through the app, or if you have graphics ready to go, you could click on this image here and it'll take you straight to your library on your iPad. So as long as you have the graphics loaded up on your library, you could go ahead and pull them down. So I went ahead and added this one. And now the same thing, that graphic I can resize and position it however I like. So now I notice that this graphic isn't going to go too well with the video here. So let's go ahead and grab that video and move it over to the other side. Okay. Alrighty, so now we added an overlay. You could add up to 6 overlays here available. Most recommended, at least for beginning streams, is to keep overlays very simple so they don't take away too much from the content that you're showing. Okay, so next up, we're going to go ahead and hit apply here. So all this can be done while we're recording. So right now we're recording, but we needed to make a change in the scene editor, which is fine. So now scene 7 is ready to go. So let's go ahead and click that to get it queued up. Okay, and now that it's queued up, we can go ahead and hit the auto button here and it'll make that transition. So now you guys are looking at the scene that we just edited. Okay, so once you go through each of the scenes here, let's go ahead and get back. So once you go through all 8 scenes and make sure everything is good to go, then you can jump over to your audio and get that set up and ready to go as well. Make sure all your channels are proper. And then once you have all that done, your program is ready to go. The next step is going to be adding the stream key. So let's go over to the settings area. So for the settings area here, you have 3 different options that you could turn on under the stream area. Server 1, Server 2, and the external storage. So at the moment we're recording locally, we're not live, so I have that one on right here. But out of these 3, you could have 2 on at the same time. So if you wanted to do server 1 and send it to Twitch and then record locally, you could do that. Or you could turn off the recording locally and send it to 2 platforms. So if you want to send it to Facebook and Twitch, YouTube and Facebook, either one would work. All you would need is the URL for the stream platform and then also the streaming key for the platform as well. Okay. Once you have that inputted here, then the network, next over here is going to be the network settings. So network settings will pop up once you're connected to the internet. Again, right now we're not connected, so you're not seeing anything here. But you also have the option to select manual. So once you click on the manual area here, you can input your own IP address, your mask, your gateway, your DNS, if you have a private platform that you're sending it to. If not, you could always just stay on DHCP, which most CDN platforms now will use. So not to worry, manual is not needed. Heading on down here, we have our pause image options. So once you hit the pause button, by default, it's going to be black. So it's just going to give you a black screen. Or you could pick an image. So if you have your own image as well, you could go ahead and click here. It'll send you to your photo library, and you could go ahead and upload your own image. Again, to give yourself a little bit more variety on your broadcast. Right below that, we have the audio delay. So if you have, let's say like the camera that we have here, and we have a separate microphone as well, if you notice that the microphone and the video audio is delayed, so it doesn't look like the mouth and the audio is, they're matching correctly, you could delay the audio to help it match the video a little bit better as well. So you could delay all the way up to 250 milliseconds if needed. Okay. And then you have over to the left here, we have our output settings. So that includes a transition period for the auto button. So once you press the auto button, you have the option to go from 3 seconds all the way down to 0.3 seconds, depending on how fast you want it. For the streaming resolution here, you have a couple different resolutions. Again, since we're recording at the moment, I'm not able to change that resolution. But just to go through it real quick, you have 1080p at 30 hertz available, 720p at 30 hertz available, 480p at 30 hertz, and then 720p at 60 hertz and 480p at 60 hertz available as well. Okay. And then below that is our streaming quality that we normally just keep at normal, so no need to worry there. But once you have that streaming key in, then you're good to go live.